you to copy one of those posts, and Cloud Post generates you a number of mana equal to the number of posts. Locus,
whatever that means.
Or,
yeah.
On the battlefield. So it effectively plays, if you're familiar with modern Urzatron, it's going to feel similar in the way that the lands stack up to produce sort of an exponential amount of mana. And the Cloud Post deck that you most often see in Legacy these days is sort of a hybridized deck with the Eldrazi Stompy deck. So you still are going to see Thought-Knot Seer, sometimes yes, sometimes no, to Reality Smasher, but then curving all the way up to stuff like Emrakul and Ulamog.
Big play here early for Joseph. He's got Chalice of the Void on turn 1, thanks to Ancient Tomb. And it looks like he already collected a victim there for that Chalice of the Void, doesn't it, Reed?
Yeah, look at that. So 3 things could have been going on there. Either Alex wants the card in the graveyard, didn't realize about the Chalice, or is sort of doing like a chump check, like, I'm going to make you remember your trigger and counter my spell.
Chump check is descriptive. Well, a pair of lands here for Hatfield, but in Legacy, with so much emphasis on lowering the mana curve as much as possible, Chalice on 1 can be really devastating, and now he's got Trinisphere as well. A bit of a lock happening here for Joseph already, with Alex unable to cast spells for quite a while.
Historically, this Enchantress deck is very good against creatures, very good against counter spells, but not that great against the permanent base disruption. For example, Chalice of the Void on 1 hurts a lot, Counterbalance hurts a lot.
You do just have to pick your poison in Legacy, right?
Right, yeah.
You can't beat everything.
So here, Alex is shortcutting, fetching a land, casting Green Sun Zenith for, I guess X is 2. It costs a minimum of 3 mana, but yeah, here's the common starting play for Enchantress. Get that Argothian Enchantress. Argothian Enchantress from the Urza Saga block, which is famous for every card being about 3 times as powerful as it probably should be.
They did go a little nuts on that one. Alex is playing an original there. That's a Argothian Enchantress from Urza's Saga, though it was reprinted in Eternal Masters not that long ago. Now that Enchantress says whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. And so that can absolutely be the big engine that Alex Hatfield needs. Here's Endbringer now for Joseph.
So remember, the Enchantress does have a hexproof, so the pinging's not going to be concerned, but that does represent a very reasonable clock. Could also be used to draw more cards and find more disruptive pieces. So here's a very expensive way to draw a card, play a spell into Chalice
for 3
mana.
You still get it countered, but still draw a card.
And there you see Sarah's Sanctum, not very powerful on this battlefield, but potentially a really key card for Alex Hatfield either later or maybe in game 2 or 3. It taps for 1 white mana for each enchantment you control.
Looks like City of Traders is going to get tapped, replaced by another City of Traders. A pretty potent one-shot. We got 4 mana. And it looks like we're going to go for Chalice on 2. Now, are we starting to get to the point where Alex is going to get locked out here at some point? 1 and 2?
Yeah, it's going to be really tough. The good news for him is that he can cycle most of the cards that are locked out by the Chalices, but I don't know. It's going to be a multi-step process for him to actually assemble something. I see that he has 1 card in his hand that can buy him quite a lot of time. That's Solitary Confinement.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a way that this Enchantress deck can lock an opponent out, because Solitary Confinement forces you to skip your draw step and discard a card every turn, but when you have that Enchantress engine going where every enchantment is drawing you 1 or 2 or 3 or however many cards, then you can perpetuate the Solitary Confinement forever.
Yeah, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. That is a powerful effect.
But of course, due to the skip a draw step and discard every turn clause, Alex is going to wait as long as possible before deploying that.
It is a powerful effect, though. I mean, a steep price to pay, to be sure, but you have Shroud and prevent all damage. Like, it's very difficult for somebody to kill you, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
In the meantime, there is no Solitary Confinement on the battlefield, and that Endbringer is bringing the heat. Alex Hatfield is, you mentioned, it's pretty good clock there for Joseph, and Alex is under duress here from the Endbringer. It's down to 8.
Okay, you picked up a nice one there. Enchantress's Presence, but it might just be a little too late. So if he can draw a land off of... Oh, okay.
That's Solitary Confinement there, Reed.
Yeah, he decided to go for that first.
You think it might have been correct to just hope he drew a land there and go for the Presence first?
Well, my instinct was you play the Presence first because he might have 1 more turn.
He should, right? He takes 1 here from Endbringer, then gets hit, then takes 1 more, but that leaves him at 1.
Yeah, but maybe he doesn't want his fetch lands to be turned off, something like that.
Okay. He's going to keep
I don't
his
blame him.
life total
I don't
high.
like being at 1.
I don't either. See what Joseph's up to here. Tapping a bunch of mana. Oh, he's got all his dust. That's a way to deal with, well, everything over there from Alex.
Yeah, that's a tough card for the Enchantress deck to beat, with all of its cards being, you know, sort of slow permanents that stay on the battlefield for a long time.
Well, that's got to be game here, right? With Chalice on 1 and 2, a Trinisphere out, and an Endbringer knocking Alex down to effectively 1.
Yeah, he just can't cast enough spells this turn to get back into it.
Right. Boy. This matchup does not look fun from Alex's perspective.
Well, I do think the game would have been a lot different if Alex had gotten even a single turn before the Chalice came down, because imagine he got to start with a Wild Growth, sort of jumpstart things, then the Trinisphere doesn't hurt him so much, and he's got an enchantment on the battlefield for his Serra's Sanctum. It would have been a different dynamic, not saying he would have won, but the difference between play and draw here with Chalice of the Void can be huge.
Speaking of,
this is a Chalice on the draw, but Alex did not have his 1-drop.
but he does have the Enchantress here on turn 2, so that's a key piece of the puzzle. Let's see if Joseph can fight back. Cloud Post go, so this could be a good turn for Alex Hatfield. All right. He's just going to run out the solitary confinement here, Reed.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the play he was really looking for. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked to see him just let it go. It depends on the context of his hand and what his long run plan is for winning. But against no pressure, those are some high costs to pay. Oh, wow.
Is that Helm of Obedience?
Yeah, so what that indicates to me is that Joseph may have boarded into a transformative combo of usually you see that alongside Leyline of the Void, which is it's templated in a weird way. Helm of Obedience, it says X tap sacrifice, put the top X cards effectively of the opponent's library into the graveyard until you hit a creature, but if the cards aren't going to the graveyard, then the Helm will just keep going and going and going. And in combination with Rest of the Piece or Leyline of the Void, it's a instant win combo.
Yeah, if you do hit a creature, you sacrifice the Helm and you get the creature. And there's All Is Dust once again. This has just been devastating play here from Joseph. And of course, a powerful effect like that makes sense, right? All Is Dust is just an extremely powerful card if you just read the text box. The prohibitive part is the mana cost, but these Cloud Posts make short work of it.
Yeah, there you see each Cloud Post tapping for 3 mana, and I wouldn't be surprised if they each tap for 4 mana next turn, unlocking, any of the Eldrazi Titans of your choice. Here, Hatfield deploys
Doomwake Giant?
a 4/6 creature.
All right. Doomwake Giant. Haven't seen you in a while. It's something. I mean, he could start turning it sideways.
Sure, it matches up reasonably well against most of the smaller Eldrazi's. Not the bigger Eldrazi's, but...
Yeah. How about...
Yeah, like that one.
Yeah, there you go. Tap 1 land for 4 mana, as you mentioned before. And it's going to be a Thought-Knot Seer here from Joseph. Looks like there's another copy of Solitary Confinement.
So that's Replenish is the front card. That's going to return all enchantments from Alex Hatfield's graveyard to the battlefield. And maybe that lines up with why Joseph Cockrell boarded in, we presume, Leyline of the Void alongside Helm of Obedience.
But Joseph's going to use the ability from Thought-Knot Seer to just go ahead and exile that. And now the Doomwake Giant will hold off the Thought-Knot Seer. Uh-oh, Chalice of the Void again. This one, what is he putting it on? He tapped so much mana. Yeah, he's actually going to go up to 3 here.
Wow.
Remember, he saw Solitary Confinement in hand for Alex, so I guess he figured, well, we'll shut that down. Plays Chalice for 3, still has land untapped, by the way. Same turn as...
Yeah, he played a tapped land.
It's pretty good. All right, it looks like Alex is going to get aggressive here, though. In comes the Doomwake Giant.
Yeah, he gets the first attack, plus Joseph took a couple hits from the Ancient Tomb, so this is a reasonable plan for Alex if Joseph just doesn't have any action.
Ooh, look at this. He has Green Sun Zenith.
So you see he may go for a 2-drop creature, but he's careful to cast it for X equals 3 so that it's not countered by the Chalice. Really nice heads-up play by Mr. Hatfield.
Sigil of the Empty Throne there. Another way that he can win the game, though it's gone.
Interesting, using the Helm of
He
Obedience.
milled
like
him
that.
for 1. That's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you could lose your helm.
Yeah, maybe he.
Like, what if he hit? I guess for 1, there's nothing that he can hit.
So does it go by converted mana cost? Are we able to look that?
I can certainly look it up. It just says, if a creature card is put into the graveyard this way, sacrifice Helm of Obedience and put that card into play under your control.
Okay, so one card that he could get lucky and hit is Doomwake Giant, which would kill the opposing Argothian Enchantress.
Okay.
Or
what if he hits an Enchantress or something?
Then that's bad.
He throws away his...
But the Helm isn't really doing much
Right.
just sitting there. But I wonder if Alex plays a few too many of those Green Sun Zeniths, can Joseph just dump like 30 mana into the Helm and deck him? I don't know exactly how many creatures the Enchantress deck traditionally plays.
But, I mean, he won't be able to deck him because he will hit a creature, right?
Yeah, I mean...
theoretically? Maybe I'm wrong. Look at all those cards.
I'm giving him credit for having 4 Argothian Enchantresses. I don't know how many Doomwake Giants. I don't know if there's Eidolon of Blossoms or anything else.
Right. Weird matchup. And maybe Joseph just doesn't need the Helm at this point, but I just assume that he has outs in his deck that makes it an auto win.
Well, being all colorless, I mean, maybe he has 1 Urborg to hardcast a Leyline of the Void, but I'm not even sure about that. 1, 2, there we go.
All right, he did it. He has his own Argothian Enchantress. Enjoy.
But I wonder if he annihilated enough of Hatfield's deck that it's going to become more difficult for the Enchantress player to win. Certainly, if Hatfield has more copies of Replenish, this could end badly for Joseph Cockrell.
Stocking up his graveyard. Now I kind of want to see that, just because, boy, that would be a lot of cards coming into play, wouldn't it? Here's Elephant Grass, but of course that's going to get countered. Perhaps another reason for Alex to run these out, besides drawing the cards, which is what he really wants, is that he doesn't mind if they're in the graveyard if he has more Replenish. Right now, the players are at a standstill as far as actually getting the job done. Whenever Post gets copy, that's going to gain him a bunch of life.
Ooh, here's another nice one.
What did he find?
Doomwake Giant, which will kill off the Enchantress for free. I mean, for starters, it's one of the few cards in his deck that can actually resolve through these chalices.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also 4/6 creature that, against an opponent who seems to not have much going on, could do the job. Also, if Alex can somehow resolve 1 more enchantment, he'll kill that Thought-Knot Seer with 4 -1/-1 triggers.
Standard Grand Prix players, your pairings are now online at pairings.channelfireball.com, and they are now posted in the hall. Please find your seats for round number 3.
Alex has 7 cards in hand,
3 minutes.
and can certainly start attacking with Doomwake Giant now.
Players in the 10-15 history of
Gotta figure there's some haymakers in that Eldrazi deck.
No
though.
kidding.
Please find your seats.
Endbringer.
Players in the 10-15 history of
Tap 1 land, play Endbringer.
round 2 are up.
Hatfield draws another brick there.
Yeah, I don't think he has any cards in his hand that can resolve. He might have 1 more Green Sun Zenith.
Yeah, well, he's going to try to find some more. I wonder if he's going to get decked here at some point. He's just running cards into the chalice, but he's drawing 2 cards every time he does so.
So what he needs is he needs to resolve at least 1 enchantment per turn so that he can attack into the then shrunken Endbringer. But if he just has to start passing, I mean, he's going to lose both because his library is getting low and also the Endbringer can draw Joseph Cockrell multiple extra cards per turn cycle.
It looks like he has about 9 cards left in his library. I wonder what he even has left.
wow. That's a key card there. That's Seal of Cleansing.
Yeah.
Which is a disenchant on a permanent. So he can take out one of the chalices and then start resolving his other permanents. Maybe this turn it's a little late, but next turn he should be able to cast enough enchantments to just Doomwake Giant away all of Joseph Cockrell's creatures.
I did just double-check Argothian Enchantress here, Reed. I don't see the word May on there anywhere.
Wow. Great point.
He's getting pretty low, and with such an enchantment-heavy deck, is he just going to get decked? Can he actually finish this? Joseph's at 18 thanks to gaining a bunch of life from the Glimmerpest.
In the standard Grand Prix today, we do ask that you mark drop on your match slip, or that you come and visit us at the blue stage to get your name.
Wow, this is a tight one. Very exciting.
Yeah, Alex is doing a great job of trying to find a way here, but what is that, 4 cards left?
Sitting and not playing Magic at the tail end of the event, we want to make sure everybody gets to play as much Magic as they want to today. So if you are not going to be joining us for further rounds,
so
make sure
interesting.
you let us know.
He may have been 1 mana short of what he really would have wanted to do there, which is actually put Solitary Confinement into play, because at this stage of the game, skipping your draw step is upside.
No kidding.
But now he's going to draw, it looks like, his second to last card. He'll be unable to cast any more enchantments. But
and there's Helm of Obedience. Oh, they hit the Doomwake Giant the last.
Is it an optional trigger? If he decides to kill or not kill those enchantresses, the game is very different.
It is.
Standard
Let me take a look.
Players, welcome to round number 3. You have 50 minutes.
No, just creatures your opponents control.
If you do not have someone seated across from you,
So this means that Alex gets this turn here.
Yeah, he can play Solitary Confinement, and then he won't die next turn.
Oh, man.
So that means
That's insane.
It's on Joseph Cockrell to find an answer to the Doomwake Giant. If he does, I think he'll win the game, because eventually Hatfield will have to he'll have to discard a card every turn until he's out of cards in hand. But that's going to take a while, and a couple more attacks with those Doomwake Giants could hypothetically get the job done.
Yeah, 3 attacks away right now.
Huh. Did he not have Solitary Confinement?
I thought he did, but maybe there's a chance he had burned it earlier to draw cards. Huh.
Well, either way, fascinating ending to that game.
Yeah. Wow, that was crazy. And hitting the Doomwake Giant somehow potentially could have backfired there on Joseph, letting him his opponent out from the lock of the curse of drawing extra cards, the thing that we all want to do anyway.
Yeah.
But somehow it ended up being Joseph who won. Really, thanks to that strong Game 1 performance based off of that Turn 1 Chalice of the Void. And then he kind of rode that to victory as well. All right, we're going to take a short commercial break. When we're back, though, we'll have more live Magic here from GP Richmond.